Before the world knew him as the Eagle, before arenas filled with thousands chanted his name, Khabib Nurmagomedov was just a quiet boy growing up in the cold, rugged mountains of Dagestan. A place where discipline is not taught, it is lived, where every morning begins with hardship and every child learns that strength comes long before comfort. Khabib was born into this environment, shaped not by opportunity, but by survival. And at the center of his transformation was one man, his father, Khabib Nurmagomedov, a coach, a strategist, and a strict believer in mental fortitude. Khabib didn't just train his son to fight, he trained him to endure any challenge as if it were part of life itself. Khabib's childhood wasn't filled with toys or entertainment. It was filled with wrestling mats, hill sprints, icy rivers, and endless drills. Some children dreamed of becoming stars. Khabib's dream was already chosen for him, and he accepted it with the calm discipline that later defined his career. The famous video of him wrestling a bear as a child wasn't meant to create a legend. It was simply another day in Khabib's training system, a system built to remove fear entirely. And that's what separated Khabib from every fighter he would later face. While they trained for a career, he had trained for a lifetime. By the time he entered professional MMA, Khabib was not a promising newcomer. He was a fully formed weapon. Fighters expected a striker, a grappler, or a submission specialist. What they got instead was something they'd never experienced: constant pressure from the first second to the last, a pace that suffocated them, a strength that felt unnatural, and a mindset that simply refused to break. Once Khabib grabbed an opponent, the fight was no longer competitive. It became a slow, suffocating descent into exhaustion. He would trap arms, lock legs, control hips, and talk to his opponents while doing it, calmly, almost respectfully, because for him, fighting wasn't chaos. It was strategy. As his win streak grew, so did his mystique. Fighters weren't just losing to him, they were being dismantled. Rounds became one-sided. Scorecards became embarrassing. Teammates described him as impossible to take down, impossible to reverse, and impossible to hurt mentally. Even in training, champions said Khabib felt different. More than technique, more than strength, it was his will, sharpened through decades of discipline, that set him apart. And yet, through all of this dominance, he remained humble. No trash talk, no theatrics, no ego. Khabib never fought to become famous. He fought to honor his father's teachings and his culture's values. But everything changed the day his father passed away. Khabib was more than a coach. He was the foundation of Khabib's life. Losing him was the only battle Khabib couldn't prepare for. When he entered the cage for the last time, fighting Justin Gaethje, he did so with a broken heart and a promise to his mother that he would step away from the sport after that night. And yet, even with emotions weighing on him heavier than any opponent ever could, Khabib delivered one of the most flawless performances of his career. His last fight wasn't just a victory. It was a farewell to his father and a message to the world. Dominance can be gentle, strength can be respectful, and greatness doesn't need noise. Khabib retired at 29-0, undefeated, untouched, and unmoved. No fighter ever truly came close to solving him. His game wasn't built on speed, striking power, or flashiness. It was built on discipline, pressure, and a lifetime of mental conditioning. That is what made him unbeatable. Not magic, not luck, not hype, a lifetime of purpose. Even in retirement, Khabib's impact on the sport didn't fade. His coaching, his leadership, and his philosophy reshaped the next generation of fighters, men like Islam Makhachev, Umar Nurmagomedov, and Usman Nurmagomedov. Through them, Khabib's teachings continue, and Khabib's influence remains present in every cage they step into. His story is no longer just his own. It is a legacy carried forward. In the end, the secret behind Khabib's dominance isn't complicated. It's not a hidden technique or unbeatable strategy. It's the combination of culture, discipline, fatherhood, pain, faith, and mountains that raised him. That is why he was unbeatable. That is why no one could break him. And that is why, long after his retirement, his shadow still stands over the lightweight division, as a reminder that sometimes greatness is not made in the spotlight, but far away from it, in the quiet, cold mountains of Dagestan.